All right, guys, we are live. I'm very excited to connect you guys with my friend Benedict Beaumont. Before I introduce him, give us just a second as we are sharing our little conversation with the world. So you are maybe catching us on your group. I really invite you to use that time to ask questions. Ask us anything you want to know about the breath. We'll happily share that with all of you and answer any question you may have. So don't hesitate. Tsuk. And that's a good start. All right, share it on my side.
Hey, sharing on mine too.
Woohoo! All right, guys. So I would like to just start by getting us just to ground for a few breaths. So let's close our eyes wherever you are in the world. And as you drop into your body, taking a few conscious breaths, I really invite you to feel into what's happening right now for me. How do I feel in this space? How do I feel with these guys? Do I feel openness in my chest? Do I feel contraction? It's really just for you to be aware of what's going on. There's no judgment to have, but you know, we are animals and we do need to have these grounding seconds to feel whether we can rest and relax and potentially expand, or if we're contracted, then in that case, not much magic could happen. I invite you now to, as you continue connecting to your breath, feel into, why am I here today? What would be my intention? Why am I all of a sudden interested in listening to this conversation? Just breathe into that and you might just get the answer. I often say that it's easy to find answers these days. You can access Google. But where do you go for questions? All right. Whew. Well, Benedict, my brother from another mother, very happy to connect with you. We have a lot in common. We have a lot of shared passion, and every time we flow, it is some magic that we create. So, how are you, brother?
You know, when you started doing that little exercise that we started above about really dropping into where we are right now, I could feel my head about to explode. I know you will know what I'm talking about because you have two children yourself. I have a 3-month-old daughter who was not sleeping today at all. She didn't want to go down, so was getting cranky and, you know, crying a lot. And all you're trying to do is just soothe them, and they really know how to push your buttons. And, you know, so there was all that. And of course, because I was spending so much time with her, which is lovely, I got behind on all the chores. So I was having to do all my washing, all her diapers and her nappies and her clothes. And just here to me, I have the washing machine. So they've been going double load for about 2 hours, and I've been trying to work and my head's just going. So it feels really good just to kind of stop. I've turned the washing machines off. I've had a breath with you and I'm starting to really feel it a lot calmer now. That was a bit of a rant, wasn't it?
So hearing that, I feel expansion in my chest. I have tears in my eyes because it brings me back to this period in my life when I was doing the same. And only thing that came to me is, man, you're going to regret those days. And as much as it is something that doesn't seem possible, trust me, I just reflect back with just nothing but pure ecstatic love for those, you know, sleepless nights where all I want is to disconnect and be by myself. And this little thing has another plan. And you know what? As we are trying to now, you know, open up to you guys, otherwise it's going to be quite of a parenting tip discussion. But, you know, it's the idea of surrendering to what is, you know, we as humans, we like to control our environment and adapt our environment to ourselves, you know, and babies and kids in general are fantastic teachers.
They are.
To get us to say, yeah, you might have plans, but nah, not gonna happen. And this is, you know, the beauty of it. And instead of going against that flow, which is, you know, useless anyway, what if we were to actually acknowledge that this is exactly what we need in this time, you know, and to bring everybody in, you know, is COVID a good thing or a bad thing? You know, it's easy to go into whinging and complaining and wishing the world from before to be, and, you know, what would be the point of all that? It is what it is, right? It is not like I have to have you know, I'm not an expert on COVID, so you don't really need my opinion on it. I'm a heartfulness coach. All I can tell you is just to, you know, just be with it, you know, and feel, and, you know, if you've got a choice between saying whether it's a bad thing or a good thing, might as well decide that it's a good thing. There is really a lot of science around the power of placebo and nocebo and what it does to you. So, you know, your life is your choice. And yeah, that's what came to me. But I really want to thank you for bringing us into your world and your space. I just want to start by really commending you for doing something that I've wanted to do, that I've talked about, but you're doing it. And I really commend people that, you know, from having these mindful, just connecting talks, go into, yeah, fuck it, I'm doing it. And you're putting together an incredible festival. If you're watching this live, you can probably see the links to it and the lineup of the incredible speakers. I would like you to just tell me, what is your intention with this festival?
Thank you, Alex. Appreciate you saying that. And you know what? We always teach what we most need. And we kind of create what we want to have in our lives as well. So, and this is exactly what I wanted. I wanted a space where I could invite in really cool people that I know, and, you know, learn from them. I always think of myself as a student, and I wanted to, like, learn from these people. And what better way to do that is to invite them in to kind of share their passion. Now, the reason the Inspiration Festival came about is because I'm a breathwork facilitator like you. I'm a breathwork trainer, a teacher and trainer, so I train people to be facilitators to do as well. And I always wanted at the end of my training to have a big day where we all got together and we had, you know, 100 people maybe, or 150 people, and then all the trainees could step up and run a session in front of all these people. And that was my plan ever since I started training to be breathwork facilitators. But then, of course, last, you know, when was it? This was going to be in June. That just was no longer possible. We couldn't have live meetings. So I said at the time to my trainees, okay, we're not going to have our big meetup now. We'll do it in January. And I could see that wasn't going to happen. You know, I have no idea when I'm going to be able to do large conscious breathworks again. We'll be able to have even 30 or 40 people in a room. And then about 2 months ago, I just suddenly thought, well, I could put it off and I could put it off. But rather than having a live event with, you know, my facilitators running workshops, and I was going to invite down one keynote speaker, just one big name in breathwork, to come and give a talk. I suddenly realized that if we did this online, actually, at first it seems like it's not going to be as good, because online events are never as good as in person. But then it suddenly occurred to me, well, we don't just have to go for 8 hours. We could go for 24 hours and hit everywhere in the world. And then I started thinking, well, instead of just having one keynote speaker, hang on, we could invite loads. We could invite a speaker for every time zone. And then I started thinking, well, rather than just having, you know, one workshop and then another workshop and then another workshop sequentially, hang on, with this technology that we've got, we can have multiple workshops running at the same time. And it all just really fell into place. And you know when something is right, because the universe just makes it happen, and it's easy and it's fun. And I mean, I've tried to make it as simple as possible, and you know, there's always details and there's always last-minute hitches, but really, it hasn't been that difficult to organise. I've emailed a bunch of breath workers that I respect and I admire, and I've said, I'm running this festival. You know, I don't know how many people are coming along, but would you consider coming and speaking? Would you consider coming along and sharing your passion about breathwork for 45 minutes? And pretty much all of them have said yes. And so for me, it's just like, wow, it is easy. This does want to happen. This does want to come through. So that's the story behind it. I've got all my trainee facilitators stepping up and giving some workshops in breakout rooms. So you'll get to experience conscious breathwork in all manner of, and they've come up with some great titles. We're doing breathwork for creativity, for people who want to, you know, be artists or writers, or even just bring more creativity into their relationships. We've got breathwork for ancestor lineage. We've got some technical breathwork about breath holds, for instance. So we've got all these kind of cool little interactive workshops, and then of course we have the big name speakers coming in, you know, on all different subjects. We've got shamanic breathwork. We have got, you know, ice breathwork, cold breathwork. You know, with you, we've got oxygen advantage, Patrick McKeown. We have all different sorts of, you know, really inspired people who have inspired me in my journey coming along. And that's how it's happened. I've never done this before. I've never run a festival. I don't know if it's going to work. It feels like it should. I can't see why it won't, but who knows?
I'm going to thank you so much for sharing, and I'm excited and honored to be part of it. I want to share with you guys why I feel this is something very important and powerful. You know, it's easy to go on YouTube and have access to the same speakers. They've done amazing podcasts. They are sharing their breath. You find everything and more than what you need online on YouTube. Easy to search, well done. There is nothing more powerful than a live experience. And being actually with the person connected, even if it's online, we've done this over and over, and really feeling and breathing in the presence of these people and feeling that and having that connection is not something that you can experience with a recorded webinar or something. And I see that as a personal criticism of this online education wave that we're experiencing, where you could just pay small amount and then you've got access to hundreds of hours of content to watch, but it's not live. And that's the first thing that I find extremely powerful. And you will feel that, you know, when you are breathing together, whatever the method, what something magical happens. You know, we connect at our soul level. It doesn't really matter if that soul is in the room on the other side of the world. And that's interesting because you get to realize, and I don't want to sound too woo-woo, but you know, what is telepathy about? What is theta healing about? You know, where you get to actually experiencing against your own will because you're online and you say, oh my God, I'm in my home and I get to experience that. I didn't think that was possible. I thought it would just happen in person. So that's something that really, really is powerful. The second thing is the world need us, light workers, because we have entered an era where the majority of the world is just living in fear and nothing good can happen from that space. And when you are experiencing breath work, again, retention, connected breath, whatever, you can't experience that and fear at the same time. So it gets you out of that moment. And all of a sudden you realize, and once the fear lifts, there is nothing but love and expansion in your heart. And that's really something that we can radiate around us and we can have an impact, because once you're in that grounded, safe space for you within yourself, then all of a sudden you can become an anchor for anyone who is around you. So I really, really encourage people to join these live events because this is what happens. And imagine 24 hours of love, of consciousness, of people breathing and connecting in one direction. It's absolutely mind-blowing offering, and I really invite everyone, check out the link up there and join and support Benedict on his mission, because he deserves it. So
bless you, Alex. Like, I've not heard anyone else get really passionate and excited about it as I am, so I really appreciate that.
It
And I
just
love
works,
what,
you know. It's not,
yeah.
it's coming from an understanding of how transformation works. It's not coming from another place. It's really, I don't have any financial stake in it. It's just something that works. Once you are connected, I do online, as you know, like you, I do, I don't know if you do online, but all my trainings are online. I think you too, right? So I experience it all the time. I have testimonials of people saying how they transform their life, and they're on the other side of the world on different time zones. It just, so having that, just that we are removing the obligation at all, just being in our hearts at the same time is a very healing. And togetherness, you know, we hear those, you know, cool words being dropped, but, you know, just come experience it and then we can talk.
It's I'm going to sound a little bit woo-woo and a little bit esoteric and a little
We have
bit
short hair,
well.
we can do it and be creative.
The way you talk about the live events, and when you connect with someone live, then it is different. And that is because I'm a really firm believer in kind of transmission, whereas not necessarily the words that I'm saying or the words that your teacher is saying. It's the energy that they're kind of giving out that you can really tap into. Because the words, you know, they just, sometimes they're even barriers to what is actually passing, the energy passing between us. And when you're truly with someone who is, you know, a properly ascended ninja level, you know, black belt in light working or energy healing or breath work, you feel it, you know, and it's not what they say, it's their presence. And to be in a live space, even if it's a virtual online space, it is different. And you know, it sounds crazy to say, but you just get difference without just being live with one of these great teachers.
You know, Benedict, I stop you there. Whoever is watching, just pause for a moment, close your eyes and feel into our energy. You don't need, you do it all the time. We do it as animals. This is something that doesn't go through your brain. That's why I agree, our words don't matter, but you feel it all the time. You meet someone and wow, I want more. Do I want more of that person in my life? Is this encounter serving me or not? Am I a hell no or a fuck yes? We have it all the time. We're not listening because we're listening to our brains, because she's hot and he's rich and, you know, stories all around pop up. It's going to serve me and all these lack and all these reasons. But the body knows, and you can do it now. And then I'm not projecting. I'm just saying, just feel it. And maybe you're going to say, hey, I don't buy into these guys or this one of these guys. It's okay. It's like, no, I'm not. But just experience it now and experience it all the time around you. Not going in your head, just taking one conscious breath. And just decide for yourself. And this we can do all the time in any condition. It is in us. We are animals. We think of ourselves as superior ones. We're not. We're subhumans. We're subhumans. Just tap into your potential. We're miles away from it. You know, and everything that is happening in the world is not going to support that. So it is important more than ever for people to join these events, this one and others, you know, anything that is around heartfulness practices, because the world is pivoting, and it's up to us how we want it to pivot. You know, it's not up to governments and doctors, and no, of course not. It has never worked. Why would it work now? You know, it's always been up to us.
I am really loving what you're saying about, you know, feeling in your body. In my training, I call it the felt sense. And when you were saying that, I was thinking, actually, you know what, out of all the training that I do, I think that is the one thing that is the most important. The one thing that actually, if I could teach people one thing, and really that's all I'm doing, is people to listen to the wisdom of their bodies, to kind of really trust and to really be able to understand what it is we are feeling, because there is so much wisdom in there. Is that the same in your training, by the way?
You know what? Again, for the people who are, I love things to be practical. So the people who are there, I challenge you tomorrow, think about this talk that we're having right now, this video, and check in. Do you remember what we said? Or do you remember how you felt when you watched it? Just test it. Just one little exercise. Tomorrow, what is coming up? Do I remember everything this guy said? And try to write it down. or can you express how you were feeling? And I bet you will remember how you felt. And it's the same with any encounter, positive or negative. You will not remember the content, you will remember how it made you feel. But this is 100% true. Words are very limited, goes to the mind. But the heart, that's resonant. Of course, it's always like that. It's always like that.
I was a high school teacher for many years, for 15 years in England. We call it a secondary school teacher in England. And always, you know, when you think back to your teachers when you were at school, it's not what you learned. You'll never remember the details, but you remember how the teachers made you feel. And that is a real incredible gift that we have. And we have it as teachers. We also just have it as humans, as people. We get to choose exactly how we want to make other people feel with our actions, with our words, really with our intentions. What an amazing gift that is. We get to choose what we give out to people, just unconsciously all the time. It's a great gift. It's a big responsibility as well.
But you know, Benedict, it is also something that we give to ourselves. To take a parallel and go in a segue in a different direction for just a second. People are obsessed around the world about diet. And there are endless debates. Is keto better than vegan, than full meat? And it's always juicing, fasting, this, and you can have one expert as great as the next one telling you exactly the opposite. Because again, we are focusing on the wrong thing, which is the what, the content. But what is important is how you eat. Are you dropping into parasympathetic? Is your body in a container that is ready to receive the food? Do you set an intention for the food getting into your body? And when you do that, now all of a sudden, your system is happy. It's telling you what you need instead of going into, ooh, I want sugar. Yeah, that's a brain. That's something that's going on up there. But if you drop into the body, your body knows. And I give you an example that's going to hit home for everybody. Who is finishing their plate when they go to a restaurant? Because 30, 40 years ago, their parents told them, finish your plate because there are poor kids dying in Africa. You know, and 40 years later, they force feed themselves to finish their plate. That's conditioning. You know, that's not being right. No, it's your parents are still finishing your plate, you know, making you finish your plate. So instead of that, just feeding into your body, maybe I have enough right now. And you know, you need to eat up to 80% of being, if you're full, you're overate basically. Yeah. So you need to stop before. And the only way to do that is just to pause, says, hey, you know what? I think I just had enough food right now. And that's the way to improve your diet. And then if you're an environmentalist, carry a Tupperware and finish it for breakfast, you know, but we can apply that to all our interaction and everything we do. And that's what I love about the breath, because it's like sex, you know, everything is about sex, but sex, you know, and everything is about the breath, but breath itself. The breath, it's nothing about the breath when you breathe. And everything else is about the breath. You want to lose weight, you want to have better sex, you want to live longer, you want to sleep better, you want to wake up, you know. Okay, breath is the answer. Next question. Yeah. When once you're into the breath, that's disappeared. Okay, now we're breathing. And now it's about whatever you want, about accessing altered state of consciousness, about healing, about performance, about singing better, about connecting better, whatever that is. It's no longer about the breath. Breath is just the middleman. It's just the tool, you know. That's all it is. And it's your ability to then go into this, you know, thing that people name crazy, like healing, going back from cancer and all this stuff, you know, things that you hear about meditation. It's, you know, I call breathwork meditation for dummies. I think, you know, breathwork is easy, you know, meditation next level, guys. You know, this is
actually, I call it that as well.
If you want something better than us, go to see the meditators. But if you struggle, now listen to us, because this is like, you know, getting you there.
That's an amazing speech. And like, if you're watching this, I just need to take a breath, because the transmission you gave out then was, that was a beautiful, inspiring talk that you gave there, Alex. So I'm going to just take a couple of breaths with that.
Thank you for that. Received, guy. I feel seen. But you know what? It's easy. And that's the beauty. And that's why we're excited about these things, you know, because we always had it. It's our birthright. We always had it. And it's just fucking common sense stuff, you know, and that's the beauty of it. It's not like, uh, you know, many practices say, oh, he has 40 years experience in this and he's got da-da-da and he's black belt this. And we have this conditioning that, you know, unless someone has a lot of experience about something, how can they? And what's beautiful about the breath it doesn't apply. You are an expert on breath work as well as much as us. You know it. You're not just tapping into it. You're not always conscious of it, but of course you do. You always knew. It's always been there. So it's just about rediscovering it, reconnecting with your breath. That's all. That's all it is. And your festival is an amazing opportunity for people to really experience all the breath get to offer. And so yeah, just join, guys.
Alex, you are such a champion. I'm gonna just, I think, get you to come on everything I do. I love your energy around this, your enthusiasm and your excitement, because I feel that, and it really resonates in me. And so I hope if anyone's watching this, that it like really excites them as well, because you know this is an opportunity that, you know, who knows when and how it will happen again.
You know, when we speak our truths, people can feel it. You know, it's not something, and the world need heart-centered operation now. So it is an emergency call. It is an emergency video. It is, you know, we're the humans. We just constantly go back to doing the same thing again and again. You know, oh, this is a terrible government. Let's get another government. Oh, it doesn't work again. Hey, big news. And we do that with everything. Oh, I don't love this wife. Let's take another wife. Oh, it doesn't work again. You know, and we just keep repeating the same patterns. So it is about making space and time to go deep within, you know, and COVID is perfect. You're forced to be at home. Good for you. You're forced to shut up and wear a mask. Good for you, because it's exactly what we all need. That's all we need, you know, and instead of whinging about it, just see, oh my God, what an incredible opportunity. I'm stuck with my wife. Great. You have to be with your kids. Amazing. Come on, guys. Do you think that being a champion at work is going to make you happy? That getting the new car that you want is going to make you happy? It just doesn't work. It never worked. Why would it work the next time? It's just nothing can fix you. Nothing from the outside will fix something that is broken inside. It's an inside job. And that's why breath comes in, because that's the gateway. So yeah, breathe.
Just breathe more.
just breathe, you know, just get out of the way. You know, I love I have, you know, like you, I have a breathwork, a teacher training. And what's amazing about it is that I bring also this incredible variety of breath workers, and they contradict each other all the time. And then my students come to me and say, I'm confused. What did this guy tell us that you should inhale through the nose, exhale through the nose, and why this is so much better than in through the mouth, and da, 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 da. And they all come with their truth. And I love that sometimes you can see these guys, I no need to drop some names, some huge names in the industry were saying, now it's mouth breathing. And then 6 months later, 2 years later, they said, now, by the way, we were wrong. Now it's nose breathing. And everybody's pissed. Say, well, we believed you had the truth. We followed you. We worshipped you. You knew better. And now you change all that. I can't trust you anymore. Why did you trust at the first place? Just
never trust anyone who says my way is the only way. If you've got a guru sitting on a pedestal saying, I know the answers, and you've got to do what I do, run a mile. You know, we've all met those people, and there is something in us that wants to give our authority away. But I know for your training, and I know for mine, it isn't about giving your authority away. Real breathwork training, when it's done properly, is about taking that sovereignty over yourself. because that's all we can really do. And when you are truly in your sovereignty, you don't need someone else to tell you what is right and what is wrong, because you already know it. You will know it with every single breath that you take. You will feel it in your body, and you don't need anyone else's permission to do anything, because you will do what is right, and you will know what is right. You will believe what is right. So it really, again, comes back to what we were talking about in the beginning. We already have all the answers that we need inside us. We know how to breathe. We just have to listen to it.
Benedict, what's fantastic about what you just said, it's, you know what is right, but what is right can change every day. It's not,
can change every breath.
Having beliefs and says, oh, now I'm clear. This is how the world works. This is no. Just be with what is present in you and just live that moment. That's, living in the now and all that. This is what it means. This is, does it feel right now? And that's what it is. But it doesn't have to be more. It's not like you have, we can talk about the power of routines and habits and all these things, but it's also having that gentleness about it and says, hey, maybe I don't know that much. Maybe I am open to new story for today. And that's maybe all that I need to do today. And I don't need to have certitude about anything. And I think that as humans, we want answers. I told you I remind you what I said at the beginning. It's really not about finding answers in life. It's about finding questions and staying with the questions without expecting the answers. And we live in a world where the answers are just there all the time. So we're just happy with finding answers as, oh, this is the meaning of life. And I get it. Or this is, and you can see all those guru talks where people feel that they're getting to someone who can actually get them the answers, but they're missing the point. It's really about staying with the question and being happy with not knowing rather than anything else.
I think that's a good tagline for probably the festival, probably our teacher trainings is, if you come with any questions, don't expect any answers. That might put some people off, but it's true. We're not here to give you the answers. We're not here to tell you what is right and what is wrong. We're here to make a space where you will be able to answer those questions yourself.
Yeah, the breath is the answer. What was the question?
I've got a question I'd like to ask you, actually, Alex.
Shoot, brother.
So you speak. You speak with real power and authority, and you speak with passion and you speak with energy, and it's because you have that. You're open to it. When did that start happening to you? When did that start happening for you? That you found that you were naturally able to do this?
I can tell the story, but before I do that, the key is to acknowledge that we share the same superpower. And once you tap into this superpower and this shared superpower, magic happens. But it's a must go to, and you must actually be able to feel that power and live that power in order to access that. And it's your vulnerability. As long as you stay in your role and your whatever that role is, I'm a father, I'm a teacher, I'm a lover, whatever role you define for yourself, as long as you stay in that role and that defines who you are, it doesn't work. But as long as you are able to just let go of anything that is defining you and you allow yourself to be, okay, this is what I am, like you did talking about, this is what's going on with my kid and that's it, that's what's alive. And I'm not, I start from speaking my truth right now and fuck everything else. Then it flows, because it's, I don't like this. You channel it, is what would be one of the words. You're just a vessel. It's no longer about you. I don't care. I realize I'm wearing my pajama. I haven't put my t-shirt on, the truth is I've let go of caring. I don't care. I don't give a fuck about anything or anyone anymore. I'm just feeding into whatever I want to say, whatever I want to do, and I just honor that. And you know what? Everybody loves it. Everybody loves it, but because it resonates with people and everybody wants that. They want it, and that's it. It's about this idea of mirroring each other. It says, oh my God. And I would be in my teacher training and someone asks me a question, says, I don't know. And people say, you're supposed to be a teacher trainer. Don't you have all the answers? This is, no, I don't. I come here to help you find questions. Because I do that and I embody that and I cried 3 times already in this call and just feel into what's going on, that everyone else is allowed to do the same. And then of course transformation happens, you know, but it doesn't come from because, oh my God, I follow this guy, so now I'm going to transform. No, we're just holding space for each other so we can all be in there. So I think it's around ego death would be the right word. Is about going through experiences where you fail, where you hit walls, when you realize that, you know, things are not okay in your life, and that's okay. And you fucked up, and that's okay. And you don't have to pretend anymore. So, you know, I talk about anything in a very real way, you know, broken issues with my parents, but realization about what was broken in my childhood, for instance, or, you know, things that are human that we all shared, you know, but that's usually, you say, that's my problem. I don't need to share about it. It's, you know, everybody has their problem. And this is the problem. That's the problem. The problem is that we're all trying to solve our own problems. It doesn't work. You cannot solve the problem with the tools that created the problem. Einstein. You need to think outside the box. And how do you do that? By opening up, by sharing, by getting into your heart, but also, you know, allowing others to see that and reflect and co-create. And that's where all happens. And by the way, guys, little extra tip, that's the key to longevity. And that's proven and studied. So, you know, forget food, forget exercise. That's for beginners, you know, connection, love, authenticity, vulnerability. Yeah, that's what's going to get you to live longer. So yeah, I think that's more that. I'm happy to speak about the specific moments, but I always like to share things that are really actionable for people. But I would say one thing is, whenever you feel triggered, be excited. Whenever you want to run away from a situation, just be excited and change that idea that, okay, now I'm afraid, I'm not safe anymore, to being in love, and just say, oh, what can I love right now? I want to punch that guy. What can I love right now? I want to get away from this woman because she's triggered me. I don't want to be with her. Whatever she's saying, I don't like it. Be excited and call her your Zen master and stay. Because this is ego death. You know, that's ego death. Ego death is breathing, feeling, surrendering to the triggers. You know, it's people that are near-death experience. What is a near-death experience? Is, okay, I'm done. I can't fight anymore. I'm stuck in that accident, and I see that there is nothing I can do about it. I don't have a choice but to surrender and accept that I'm going to die. And that's when transformation happens. When your wife lives with the kids and life doesn't have meaning anymore, and you surrender and says, okay, now fuck it all. I'm ready to die. It's not worth living. Great. Because that's the way. But the key is that you don't need this. You know, it is avoidable, but you need to have a strong practice of embracing discomfort, of being okay with not being okay, of seeking discomfort, of meeting the pain. You know, all these things that our body and our mind is trying to protect us from, because this is the unknown territory. So why would I go there? This is not safe anymore. So it's very important to acknowledge that in any situation, am I feeling in danger, or is it just fear? Because if it's danger, you shouldn't do it, you know, you need to keep safe. But if you can acknowledge that you're safe, and fuck it, push through it, because this is how you grow. And it is not that hard. It's not that hard. It's just a mental rewiring.
Again, I'm not going to remember all those words, Alex, but I am going to remember how you made me feel with that. You made me feel inspired, and you made me feel excited. And there was something that you said about, you know, when you allow yourself to be vulnerable, which is what you're doing, and you're being authentically you, what you're doing is you're giving permission for other people to do the same. And they can drop the masks that they wear and the roles that they have to put on, and you're giving them, I'm me, and you can be you. What greater gift can we give people than to allow themselves to be them? It's the most beautiful feeling, like having a huge shit, isn't it? Just letting all go of all that crap.
All right. I love to be controversial, and I'm going to just drop a bomb.
Sure.
What we shared here is for me, in my analysis, is the key of the success of Donald Trump. Yeah. How can you have such? And I'm not American. I'm not into politics. I have zero interest there. But you know, if you look at it from a non-charged perspective, and you can see a bit meta and what's going on, you've got a guy who doesn't give a fuck about what he's saying. He just vomits whatever is going through his head in the right moment, you know, and it's 99% complete bullshit. But people, again, they love how he makes them feel. It's how. It's not someone who's trying to control me. He's not someone who's trying, even though he might be, you know, he just comes out as someone who's just being just real and authentic and being himself. And if it's, and that's something that people feel at an energetic level. And because we're tired of the way things have been run, we just want something different. And for me, that was the huge success. And even if, you know, he lost the election, it's still, you know, look at the numbers of people who voted for him. It's far from a big failure. So, you know, we need to acknowledge that, okay, what is there so that we can learn from it and grow from it, instead of just repeating the mistakes and protecting ourselves because it's just not working. But saying that, okay, how can I operate from my heart? How can be in expansion? How can I feel the abundance right now? And just be happy with that. And not really relying on having enough money on my bank account to be happy, or having the right partner in life to be happy, or again, anything from the outside, because it's never enough. You know, I invite people to watch a great documentary on YouTube about Paris Hilton, you know, and I love it because we are always watching these super famous mindful coaches that are sharing their wisdom. It's an amazing documentary. Watch it. I think it's 2.5 hours. And we have so many preconceived ideas about this life of someone who's apparently comes across as, you know, incarnation of superficiality. And just, I'm not going to say more, just watch it. And you will thank me for that experience, because it is, there's so many beautiful lessons from witnessing this broken soul trying to heal herself through this, you know, manifestation of what, you know, she's the origin of selfie. She's the origin of all this superficiality that we all live in. We all take, you know, some kind of ego photos, and whether it's of ourselves, of our kids, or anything that we feel is we're projecting in the world that is defining who we are, we do it in our own way. You know, there's no judgment to have about how we are doing it, but it just doesn't work. As long as you do it trying to fulfill something that you're not getting from life, it's not going to work. And so it's a fun, unexpected video that I invite people to watch.
Okay, I'm gonna check that out, Alex. Yeah. Have you got a question you'd like to ask me?
Tell us about a bit the technicality of what's happening. I think we're coming to an end, and I think we shared a lot. So let's come to closing, and tell us a little bit about the festival itself, a bit more. I've put the link. Let's be technical, you know, what's going to happen, when, the dates, the time, and how much is it?
Sure. So this is on Saturday, the 9th of January, starting at 00:00 hours UK time. And then it's one Zoom room. So once you have bought a ticket, you get access to the Zoom room, and you can come and go as much as you wish. There are 24 hours, and these are divided up. So we have 18 speakers who are generally speaking for about 45, 50 minutes throughout the day. And then we have 3 lots of workshops, and each time there is a workshop, they'll be held in breakout rooms, and you'll get to choose which workshop you go to. So there's, you know, 18 speakers, 3 lots of workshops over. Now, once you have joined the festival, you also get access to our festival program, which gives you a big access to the back end, allows you to interact with all the speakers, with all the workshop leaders, to ask questions, because all of the sessions that we're having with the speakers are going to be really relaxed and informal, very much like this chat that me and Alex are having now, because this is where the power is. I mean, you can feel the energy that is rippling out from this. When we're live, when we haven't come with a PowerPoint presentation, when we haven't come with some agenda of what we want to say, we're going to make this really live. We're also going to make it really intimate. So if you've got questions that you want to ask, you will be able to do that. All of the speakers who are coming in are able to do this. They're at the top of their game. They're able to handle whatever people throw at them. So we're going to have this kind of really lovely little atmosphere in a Zoom. There may be 5 people in one session. There may be 50. There may be 500. It won't matter. The recordings of the speakers will all get put into our festival program, so you always have a live access to them. The cost of the festival is it's currently on early bird, and it's £40 sterling. And it will go up in the new year. And I thought long and hard about the pricing of this, because there's so many summits and conferences that you can go to now that are free, that you don't have to pay to go along. But what happens is you turn up for free, they get your email address, and then they start bombarding you with marketing afterwards, trying to upsell you to recordings, to go on courses. And I decided I didn't want to do that. There is costs to putting on a festival. I'm also paying the speakers, because if I feel that I'm charging people, I need to pass on some of that to people who have actually earned this. But there is an important energetic change when you commit to doing something and you put some money down onto it, and it's not very much. £30, £40 is the price of a workshop, really. When you do that, it changes for you, and you will turn up, and you will feel committed to showing up and to taking part of it. So that's why we put a cost on it, a charge on it, because I want people to come along who want to do this. And so that's why the charge is not much. And I think that's all the technical details. You buy a ticket, you turn up on the day, you have access to the recordings, you can interact with the speakers, you can ask them questions. There'll be different breathing space hosts and facilitators running workshops. It's easy, it's simple, it's not rocket science. Does all that make sense, Alex?
Perfect. And now you have a teacher training that you touched. Can you give us two, three important information about it?
Sure. That's a very a lovely invitation. So I am a breathwork facilitator trainer. I train people to hold space. I train facilitators. And that is breathwork, but also if you take a breathwork facilitator training, that is probably going to be the last training that you ever need to do. Because as we said in our conversation, this is about a training about learning how to drop into that wisdom of your body. And if you can do that, you can probably do anything. So my trainings are 10 months long. They're online. I've got my next one starting on February the 1st. It's a deep course. And you will know if you have experienced breathwork already. I knew within 5 breaths of my first breathwork that, holy shit, this is going to be my future. So it's probable that if you have heard the call, you will already know that this is in your future. And that might be with me, which is great. But if it's not with me, I don't mind. This isn't about me. It's not about my training. It's about becoming, taking this magic that we have out into the world. So if it's not with me, maybe it will be with you, Alex, because I know your training is also great. And I know that because I guest on it. But there are other also trainers out there, Steph, Magenta, Alchemy of Breath, Giten, and the Biodynamic. There's so many breathwork trainers. I am just so enthusiastic about anyone getting any training in breathwork. And I don't care if it's with me or someone else, it doesn't matter. But if you're doing the training, then you are becoming who you are meant to be. And when you do that, you will, even if you never facilitated breathwork, you are just by being you, giving permission for other people to be them. And the benefits from that is, whoa, it just ripples out throughout the world. And we are really in the business of changing the world. And I'm not afraid to say that.
Hey ho.
And what about your training, Alex? Because you've got one starting up as well. It's only fair that you tell us about yours too.
Thank you, brother. Same, February 1st. So starting the same day, which I love, because we of course didn't talk about it, and it's starting at the same time. My approach is I offer a buffet of all there is to experience around the breath, or a lot. And my invitation is for people to find their breath. I think when you are connected to your breath and you have a wide understanding about what the breath can do, you get to find resonance with a certain approach or a mix of different approach, and then come up with your own offering. So I bring incredible speakers and facilitators, you know, people that toured with Wim Hof for years, free divers, the world champion free divers, and opera singers, and hot, bold guys. So I have amazing facilitators that come along, and then, you know, you can have the spiritual and the DMT and the healing, or you can have the performance. I mean, there's so much we can do. The tantric approach to the breath, and I think that what is incredible is to just experience it all, and then after that, teach, facilitate, and get the support as we go. So that's what we do. And also teach authentic relating. So once we are connected with ourselves, how do we connect with each other? So we experience that. So it's circling, authentic games. So yeah, it is quite unique. And we continue. I always say that this is just, the training is just a way for you to feel confident in yourself. You want to learn something specific, go to YouTube. You know, you want to know about the what's the difference between an inhale and an exhale, and then the oxygen and the CO2. You will learn it all, but it's easy to access any content you want specifically. So don't focus on the knowledge itself, but having the mindset of, hey, maybe I am enough. Maybe I can teach, maybe I can hold space, and having that in a safe space with the container that we co-create with all the participants is a really healing place. So whether you're on a personal transformational journey or you want to bring this to the world, it doesn't really matter. You will feel into it as you go. Yeah, that's what it is. And it's 3 weeks offline, online, and then optional another 3 weeks online. So it is, yeah, quite something. So I'm very excited. Thank you so much for asking.
I'm going to come and do your training one day, Alex.
Yeah.
When I move out and live in Bali, I am going to be there for sure.
You know, I love it. And for me, it's a great tribute. I actually have the founder of Authentic Relating Arts, who's joining as a student, Mary Bodine, who's a Wim Hof instructor. She's joining as a participant. So for me, it's, I see myself as one of the students. And I mean, there is something that is also specific. People don't see me as an authority in the group. I'm just holding the space, and then we really co-create. And I bring all my friends, basically. For me, it's fun. I'm having fun. I live supercharged from it. I'm flowing. There's no effort. And that's, I feel that's how we create magic, because you own it. You're empowered with it. It's not something that is put on you or imposed on you. So yeah. I think we talked plenty for today, guys.
We said 40 minutes, and I think we've done almost an hour now.
Okay. Well, thank you so much, Benedict, for making the time and considering what's next to you, which is, I think the washing machine I just heard is finished, so you can go to the next cycle, and then yeah, so just go on, guys. Have a good life, have a good breath. Reach out with us. We're happy, I'm sure, Benedict as well, to connect with anyone. You're not alone. We're there to support each other in this world. So love you, everyone.
Let's finish with a couple of breaths, Alex.